Welcome to the only daily research news video report, your research business daily report. We're sponsored today and this week by Socratic Technologies, whose proprietary tools and methodologies tackle marketing complexities so that you can make more confident business decisions. Last week, we featured two studies that showed that fewer of the fastest growing companies are now paying attention to customer complaints on Twitter. Well, maybe it's just Twitter, but in a comedy drama right now, they'd probably have the lead character dropping in the comment, "Big mistake." Because that's one obvious conclusion that can be drawn from an Accent Marketing Services LLC project that involved over 1,000 consumers, which reported that nearly 90% of them claimed that their personalized interactions with brands drive brand purchase decisions. We won't take the time right here and now to detail what the chart on my right shows as consumers' positive experience with brands, but take a look for yourself. And here's what I thought was the kicker from this study. 93% of these consumers claim a positive experience or special offer can help restore a company's reputation after a bad brand experience. Moving on, in part two of our conversation with Kantar CEO Eric Salama, we turn to major advancements that he thinks research may be able to achieve in 2014, and perhaps a new definition of respect vis-a-vis our respondents.
One of the ways of answering your question is scale. So what are the things that are most likely to scale this year? Because there'll be lots of things that will have a big impact in one place for one client, and there's a breakthrough in terms of how you do things. But if you're talking about industry-wide impact, I think you have to be looking at scale. So it's not just something that you can do once somewhere. Okay. It's what's going to happen 1,000 times and begin to change the way that we do things systematically. And I'd say on that front, probably three things. I would say that a lot more automation and a lot more use of technology to deliver solutions which are automated, which do speed things up, which allow more time for real thought and analysis. So I'd say automation is beginning to make its mark. I'd say mobile data collection. We have an ambition and are on track to do all of our data collection digitally by the end of 2014. Now, digitally might mean an online panel. It might mean an interviewer using a tablet. It might be a consumer or a person using their own smartphone. It might be mobile phone or some kind of other phone interviewing. But we're on track to do all of our data collection around the world. I'm not just talking about the US, around the world, including Africa and Asia, by the end of 2014, which I think would be a massive step forward. And that's great. And that would be a massive step forward from a quality point of view and cost and other things. Okay. And I would kind of talk about facial coding, because I do think that that's probably the thing that we have scaled the most in terms of really using emotional behavioral data to augment survey data.
Should we be concerned about the industry's reputation with our respondent base and our future respondent base, not just because of privacy, but because of other issues?
We should be concerned, partly on the privacy side, but partly because for a lot of people, time is their most precious commodity. And we're asking people, every time we engage with them, we're asking them to give up their time to share their opinions with us. and there's clearly a lot of people who are very happy to spend hours on Facebook and hours on Twitter and hours on sites that they care about. So in doing that, they're telling us, that they're getting something back from it. They're getting some kind of benefit from spending all of that time on those social media. Now, if we said to people, spend the day with us, spend the day telling us stuff, that will feel overly long. The reason is we're not giving enough back. So if you think about respondents as people, and if you think about the work that we do, we have to provide something back to people which isn't simply monetary. It can be monetary, but you've got different segments of people, some of whom, for some, money's important, for some donation to charity is important, for some it's completely other things. It might be content, it might be the ability to actually talk to certain people, it might be the ability to experience things that they couldn't experience otherwise. So I do think that we need to think about interviewing as being a process whereby we exchange value. They're kind enough to spend their time sharing with us things, and we have to provide value back. And obviously, long interviews make it harder because they're giving up even more of their time. So what's the answer to all of that? I think the answer to all of that is we need to make our interviews much more engaging, much more gamified, much more akin to real-world experiences that people have, much shorter, much more fun, and we need to provide something tangible back to people which suits them as opposed to just suits our business structure. Quite apart from all of the privacy issues, we need to get to the point where people finish an interview and say, I really enjoyed that.
That's your Research Business Daily Report, sponsored by Socratic Technologies, whose proprietary tools and methodologies tackle marketing complexities so that you can make more confident business decisions. We hope you have a great research day, and we'll look forward to welcoming you back here tomorrow.